This program is one of a series which accompanies the General Electric LM2500 instructions for the replacement of the high-pressure compressor rotor blades, stages 3 through 16. It is designed as a supplement to the printed work package found in the maintenance manual. To replace any of the HPCR blades, first, the compressor stator casing must be opened. For a detailed written description of the procedure for opening and closing the compressor stator casing, refer to the maintenance manual. In this demonstration, compressor rotor blades from stage 8 will be replaced. Therefore, only the forward compressor casing must be opened. When working around the open compressor, remove all objects from pockets to prevent them from falling into the compressor. If any tool or other object accidentally falls into the compressor section, stop all operations immediately and remove the foreign object. Do not leave the gas generator unattended while the compressor case is open unless the compressor section is covered properly. To help protect the blades and to prevent foreign objects from dropping into the lower casing while working on it, locally manufacture a protector out of cardboard and install it at the horizontal flange. When determining which blades are to be removed, keep in mind that the number of replacement blades should not exceed 3 complete stages, or 25% of the blades in the rotor. Now number all the blades in a stage, starting with the first blade, aft looking forward, clockwise from the locking lug, using an approved felt tip marker. For demonstration purposes, stage 8 will be used here. Continue marking in a clockwise direction. Note that if only a few blades require replacement, it is not necessary to remove all the blades of a stage. To remove the rotor blades, loosen the set screw of each of the 2 locking lugs until the lugs slip below the surface of the retaining slot. Turn the set screws counterclockwise, using a long T-handle Allen wrench. To aid in loosening the set screw and the blade locking lugs, it may be necessary to apply penetrating oil and allow it time to soak in. Then, tap lightly on an Allen wrench inserted into the hex opening of the set screw to jar the threads of the set screw. The entry slot for removal of the blades is between the 2 locking lugs. Mark the position of the entry slot. Then, rotate the entire stage of blades circumferentially in either direction, approximately half the width of a blade base. Use a nylon drift and a soft face hammer to aid in rotating the blades if they tend to bind in the disc. When using a drift and hammer, apply all force parallel to the axial center line of the engine. Remove the blade by pulling it straight out of the entry slot. Then, slide the locking lug over to the entry slot and remove it. Measure and weigh the blades removed and record this information. Be aware that balance weights are installed at various points between the rotor blades. If these weights are removed, they must be marked for installation in the same position. Bag and tag these balance weights and mark the number of both adjacent blades on the tag. Continue removing the blades as necessary by sliding them clockwise, aft looking forward, to the entry slot and lifting them out. When selecting the replacement rotor blades, keep in mind that the blades and balance weights must be installed in the same position from which they were removed in order to maintain rotor balance. Select, weigh, and replace each damaged blade with a new blade of the same part number as that of the original. In most cases, prior to installation, the replacement blade will require hand grinding to the length of the original adjacent blade. This will reduce the chances of stator case damage or rotor blade hang-up. Any blade may be replaced by a blade of equal weight. When no part of the damaged blade, other than the squealer tip, is missing, use the weight of the original blade to determine the required weight of the replacement blade. The replacement blade should be within 5/10 of a gram of the original blade weight for stage 3, 3/10 of a gram for stages 4 and 5, and 2/10 of a gram for stages 6 through 16. If a portion of the blade other than the squealer tip is missing, weigh 8 or more of the old blades from the same stage and use their average weight as the required weight of the replacement blade. If a large number of blades must be replaced, or a blade of the required weight is not available, it may be necessary to balance the rotor. In most cases, the General Electric field service representative will carry out the procedure required to balance the rotor. When the blades of the required size and weight have been selected, install them one at a time into their proper places in the rotor. A standard blade does not have cutouts in the platform. A locking blade has a cutout on the blade base. Insert a standard blade into the entry slot according to the position mark made during the blade removal. Also, install the balance weights to their original positions according to the position marks made during the removal. Check the blade length of the replacement blades to the adjacent blades by rotating the rotor to position the adjacent blade at the horizontal split line. Using feeler stock, measure the clearance between the forward and aft blade tip and the compressor case. Rotate the rotor to position the replacement blade at the horizontal split line and measure the clearance between the forward and aft blade tip and the compressor case. The difference between these measured gaps is the amount of the blade tip material to be removed from the new blade. Stone down the new blade to the required length. Continue installing the standard blades until all except 4 blades are installed. Locate the entry slot at approximately 45 degrees above the split line while installing the locking blades and lugs. Install a locking blade into the entry slot and slide it toward the locking slot. The cutout on the blade base should face the entry slot. Install the locking lugs through the entry slot also. The 2 locking lugs will fit into the cutout portions of the 4 locking blades. The locking lug set screw must be retracted. Now install another locking blade with the cutout facing the locking lug. Rotate the entire stage of the blades circumferentially, approximately 1/2 the width of a blade base, until the last blade can be installed. Install the last locking blade with the cutout facing the locking lug. Each stage must contain the exact total number of blades listed in the installation guide table found in the maintenance manual work package. In this case, stage 8 is required to have 64 blades. Now rotate the entire stage of blades until the locking lugs are aligned with the locking slots, as identified by match mark. Turn the set screw clockwise to raise the locking lug into the locking slot. Torque the set screw to a breakaway torque of 8 to 9 inch-pounds. If the torque value falls below 4 inch-pounds, replace the locking lug and/or the set screw. The top of the locking lug must be flush with the blade platform to within 10/1000ths of an inch after applying torque. Next, move all the blades in a fan-out direction away from an outside locking blade to form one gap between the blade platforms in that stage. Measure the gap, one measurement for each stage being refitted with blades. The total accumulated clearance between the blade platforms of a stage should not exceed 10/1000ths of an inch. If this limit is exceeded, select replacement blades with wider platforms to decrease the accumulated clearance. On the other hand, shingling or the overlapping of blade platforms is not permitted. If this is the case, then replacement blades with narrower platforms should be installed. Refer to the blade installation guide in the maintenance manual for the details and restrictions that apply to this procedure. This completes the replacement of the 8th stage high-pressure compressor rotor blade. If the gas generator case is to remain open for an extended period of time, install the 1C8115 protector. Otherwise, refer to the maintenance manual for a detailed description of how to close the compressor stator case and how to perform the gas turbine operational checkout. For a complete printed review of this entire procedure, refer to the work package found in the maintenance manual for the General Electric Marine and Industrial LM2500 gas turbine.